Mock draft season is upon us, folks, as we are currently 2 months away from the 2024 NFL Draft. Keaton Talk Sports here as I explain which player goes where and explain the strengths and weaknesses of that player. We got a lot to get into, so let's not waste any more time. This is my first round mock draft. With the first pick, the Chicago Bears will be taking Caleb Williams, quarterback out of USC. Some of the strengths of Caleb Williams has elite overall arm talent and make pretty much any throw even when off balance. Has a Mahomes vibe to his play. He's a huge threat with his legs. His play fakes are outstanding, and Williams has the ability to manipulate safeties with his eyes. Some weaknesses here for Caleb Williams: doesn't have the prototypical size for the position, standing just 6'1" and weighing in at 215 pounds. Maybe an injury risk going forward, especially considering his play style. Has played exclusively in the shotgun. At the moment, he would be a work in progress as a dropback passer. With the second pick, the Washington Commanders will select Drake May, quarterback out of North Carolina. Some strengths of Drake May: excellent athletic ability with quickness and speed, making him a dual threat as a scrambler and designed runner. Boasts very strong arm strength, delivering throws with high velocity outside the numbers and deep downfield. Some weaknesses: May is an excellent scrambler. However, he often takes too long to decide who to throw to, putting huge pressure on the offensive line. He's often slow in his progressions and had trouble with some relatively simple coverage rotations, and when his first read isn't open, he struggles to get to the next guy. With the third pick, the New England Patriots will select Jayden Daniels, quarterback out of LSU. Some strengths of Jayden Daniels: put up an utterly ridiculous 2023 season where he led in pretty much every noteworthy statistical category. Exceptional athletic ability with reported 4.5 40-yard dash speed. Displays natural speed and gains significant yardage as a runner with his 6'3 frame. Some weaknesses: has struggled to consistently operate from the pocket, particularly with throws across all field levels. Displays discomfort and inconsistency when required to make extended progressions. Inconsistent throwing motion, which hampers accuracy, timing, and power. Lacks proper lower body engagement, resulting in reduced throw power and accuracy, especially on sideline passes. With the fourth pick, the Arizona Cardinals will select Marvin Harrison Jr., wide receiver out of Ohio State. Some strengths of Marvin Harrison: super productive receiver who was the best receiver in the nation in 2022, despite receiving constant press coverage and often seeing double teams. He'll break a tackle or two. He's extremely competitive and will give effort as a downfield blocker. Some weaknesses: his cuts aren't as sharp as you would expect given his elite athletics. Too often brought down by first contact and doesn't break tackles in the open field. With the fifth pick, the Los Angeles Chargers will select Brock Bowers, tight end out of Georgia. Some strengths of Brock Bowers: his rare versatility is evident in how he schemed and plays, whether sweeps, reverses, or screens. Bowers consistently delivers explosive plays. As a receiver, he showcases remarkable skills, from maximizing his catch radius to asserting dominance at the catch point, making him a nightmare for defenders. Some weaknesses here: while Bowers exhibits impressive physicality at the catch point, his ability to consistently separate from top-tier NFL safeties needs refinement. Though Bowers stands out as a fluid route runner, there's room for improvement in mastering the full router tree. His tendency to round off breaks and occasional mistiming can hinder optimal play execution. Consistently in route precision remains an area to polish. With the sixth pick, the New York Giants will select Malik Nabers, wide receiver out of LSU. Some strengths here: has exceptional ball skills, tracks mid-stride adjustments effectively, showcasing potential as a reliable deep threat in the NFL. Physical receiver possessing a vertical skill set, effective both outside and in the slot with an understanding of zone coverages. Some weaknesses, though he pops off the tape with his burst and short area quickness, when it comes to stacking and separating deep against sticky coverage from top tier corners, questions arise. His vertical game isn't elite. His ball skills are evident when he's asked to high point or adjust, but consistently beating defenders with sheer speed down the boundary is a gray area in his game. Needs to be a consistent deep threat. With the 7th pick, the Tennessee Titans will select Joe Alt, offense tackle out of Notre Dame. Some strengths here: dominates in the run game with a Moeller mentality, leveraging defenders' momentum to wash them out and create alleys for ball carriers. Dominating pass protector, showcasing a balanced set and a strong anchor, with the lateral agility to wall off speed and bull rushers alike. Some weaknesses: while his overall footwork is adequate for his stature, lacks elite quickness in his kick slide, relying more on his reach than ground coverage to protect the edge. Permits defenders too close to his frame, compromising his ability to leverage his wingspan. Must sharpen hand technique to dictate engagements at the line. With the 8th pick, the Atlanta Falcons will select Dallas Turner, edge out of Alabama. Some strengths here: exhibits exceptional first down quickness, providing a decisive advantage in explosiveness off the snap. Effectively utilizes his frame to slip through tight spaces and run defense while keeping his outside arm unengaged. Some weaknesses: needs to bulk up his frame to withstand the rigors of the NFL. Struggles to maintain ground against multiple blockers or when engaged head-on. Hand technique needs refinement and increased ferocity to shed blockers efficiently. His run game awareness and tackling require further development. With the 9th pick, the Chicago Bears will select Rome Odunze, wide receiver out of Washington. Some strengths here: exceptional confidence, consistently attacks the ball and snatches it from the air away from his frame. Displays remarkable body control, especially on near sideline catches, demonstrating his adaptability and versatility as a receiver. Some weaknesses: struggles in hand combat at the line of scrimmage, tends to lean into finesse moves against press, making him susceptible to physical DBs who can jam him up and disrupt his release. Lacks the gritty edge at the catch point. Despite his size, savvy DBs can bully through his frame and punch the ball out, impacting his catch in traffic efficiency. With the 10th pick, the New York Jets will select Alum Fashanu, offense tackle out of Penn State. Some strengths here: exhibits natural athleticism in both pass protection and run blocking, executing a diverse array of blocks with expertise. Demonstrates significant hand strength, impacting defenders, pass rush, and displays agility to counter and close the distance effectively. Some weaknesses here: despite possessing immense potential, Fashanu sometimes showcases inconsistency in trusting his length, often forfeiting leverage unnecessarily against defenders. His pad level tends to be high at times, compromising his leverage in both pass protection and run blocking, and impacting his overall power at contact. With the 11th pick, I have the Minnesota Vikings selecting Jared Verse, edge out of Florida State. Some strengths here: the explosive first step is a cornerstone of his game, dictating pass rush scenarios by imposing his will and disrupting offensive linemen's rhythm off the snap. Exceptional bend and flexibility allow Verse to exploit the edge, dipping under offensive tackles and maintaining a tight, efficient path to the quarterback. Some weaknesses: despite a robust and physical approach to run defense, there is a discernible lack of control in his tackling, often resulting in missed opportunities in the backfield. Anticipation and mental processing in run scenarios require elevation, enhancing block recognition and reactionary quickness out of his stance remains a pivotal area for development. With the 12th pick, I have the Denver Broncos selecting Jer'Zhan Newton, defensive lineman out of Illinois. Some strengths here. Newton's alignment versatility is a key strength, effectively shifting across multiple spots on the defensive line with tactical precision. His explosive get-off is a major disruptor. Newton consistently beats linemen off the snap with his quick bursts. Some weaknesses. Newton's size profile is less than ideal for a defensive tackle, potentially impacting his effectiveness against larger NFL linemen. Lacks the desired arm length, which could limit his ability to extend and control engagement at the next level. With the 13th overall pick, I have the Las Vegas Raiders selecting Nate Wiggins, cornerback out of Clemson. Some strengths here: excels at managing and contesting vertical routes, effectively maintaining positioning, and showcasing competitive aggression at the catch point. Demonstrates patience and strategic use of eye discipline and footwork in man coverage scenarios. Some weaknesses: while proficient in bail technique, his back pedal could be more fluid and less segmented. Would benefit from adding muscle mass to improve physicality, particularly in press coverage scenarios. With the 14th overall pick, I have the New Orleans Saints selecting Brian Thomas Jr., wide receiver out of LSU. Some strengths here: exhibits violent change of direction, making him elusive after the catch. Proves to be a formidable red zone target with his ability to high point the ball effectively. Some weaknesses: route breaks on short and intermediate routes can be inefficient. Needs to utilize his speed and athleticism more effectively to uncover against defenders. With the 15th overall pick, I have the Indianapolis Colts selecting Teron Arnold, cornerback out of Alabama. Some strengths here: shows patience and aggression at the line of scrimmage, especially when playing inside. Consistent heavy hitting tackler, wraps up well, could play safety. Some weaknesses: only average as a zone corner and cover 3 leverage, needs to trust his athleticism more and not allow easy completions on stop routes. While physical, can be prone to drawing penalties due to overly aggression play in man coverage. With the 16th pick, I have the Seattle Seahawks selecting Laiatu Latu, edge out of UCLA. Some strengths here: demonstrates lateral agility and an elusive nature, making it challenging for offensive linemen to engage and maintain blocks. Instinctive playmaker with a persistent motor, frequently forcing turnovers and disrupting offensive momentum. Some weaknesses: displays just adequate athleticism relative to NFL standards for edge rushers, which may limit his ceiling at the professional level. Struggles to disengage from blockers in the run game, a skill that needs development to contend with NFL caliber offensive linemen. With the 17th pick, I have the Jacksonville Jaguars selecting Kool-Aid McKinstry, cornerback out of Alabama. Some strengths here: insane zone coverage awareness, great length and knowledge of how to maximize it, added value as a punt returner. Some weaknesses: needs more patience/commitment around the goal line. True straight line speed may only be adequate. Naturally fluid, but plays too high and impatient at times to mirror in soft man coverage. With the 18th pick, I have the Cincinnati Bengals selecting J.C. Latham, offense tackle out of Alabama. Some strengths here: Latham possesses more than prototypical NFL size. Looks like a giant at 6'6", 350 plus. Arm length and strength, demonstrating a consistent ability to dominate the line of scrimmage. Displays a stout anchor and lateral mobility and pass protection, effectively neutralizing speed to power transitions and reacting to defensive counters. Some weaknesses: while Latham initiates with strong contact in the power run game, he needs to enhance his block sustainment by maintaining a solid base and balance. Penalty proneness with 12 flags in 2022 and a tendency to lunge suggests the need for more disciplined technique to avoid compromising his leverage and effectiveness. With the 19th pick, I have the Los Angeles Rams selecting J.J. McCarthy, quarterback out of Michigan. Some strengths here: has the whip-like velocity to fit throws past extremely tight coverage at all ranges. Adaptable in the pocket and improved his poise and navigation in congestion in 2023. Some weaknesses here: frame is noticeably lean, which contributes to a lack of play strength amidst contact. Pressure threats can cause him to drop his eyes, hesitate, and pause mid-release. With the 20th pick, I have the Pittsburgh Steelers selecting Taliese Fuaga, offensive tackle, Oregon State. Some strengths here: strong NFL-ready frame. Fuaga's physical stature is ideal for professional play, providing a robust and durable foundation for his blocking abilities. Potential for positional versatility demonstrates the compatibility to adapt to various roles on the offensive line, adding valuable flexibility to any NFL team. Some weaknesses: limited hip flexibility. Fuaga sometimes shows challenges in quick hip transitions, impacting his ability to seal off agile edge rushers effectively. Over-aggressiveness. His aggressive playstyle, while generally an asset, can lead to overextension and mistimed blocks, particularly in space. With the 21st overall pick, I have the Miami Dolphins selecting Amarius Mims, offensive tackle out of Georgia. Some strengths here: exceptional rotational freedom, length, and frame density contribute to his hyper-elite power capacity. Strong understanding of leveraging in pass protection, employing controlled lean and knee bend to extend his reach. Some weaknesses: tendency to play too tall into contact, which can negate his strong base. Prone to missing optimal angles in space, coupled with a lack of elite recovery flexibility. With the 22nd pick, I had the Philadelphia Eagles selecting Quinion Mitchell, cornerback out of Toledo. Some strengths here: elite athlete with rumored 4.3 pace, verified by his bristling closing speed on tape. Proven ball hawk with 6 interceptions and 37 pass breakups over the past 2 years. Some weaknesses: processing when surveying in breakers and curls in zone can be more consistent. Has room to be more proactive with his footwork, tempo, and space to quicken reactions. With the 23rd pick, I have the Houston Texans selecting Keon Coleman, wide receiver out of Florida State. Some strengths here: outstanding acceleration combined with exceptional foot speed and lateral twitch, especially considering his build. Superb at manipulating DB blind spots, employs efficient diamond releases, and robust hand techniques to separate. Weaknesses: limited sharpness in routes, occasionally lacks the burst and crispness on angled route breaks, affecting his separation from defenders. Acceleration concerns: might struggle with elite long speed, making it challenging to consistently outpace boundary DBs in deep ball situations. With the 24th pick, I have the Dallas Cowboys selecting Byron Murphy II, defensive lineman out of Texas. Some strengths here: delivers a strong punch and uses his hands to shed blocks to make plays in the hole or outside the box. Uses lower body strength to anchor inside. Murphy has a compact build, but Murphy is a crafty edge player who is very good against the run. Murphy sets the edge and effectively wards off blocks with a strong core, powerful limbs, and natural leverage. Some weaknesses: he's a straight line mover who doesn't have the range to chase in pursuit. Murphy remains a bit raw, as Murthy is inconsistent with his hand use and lacks violence in his hands. With the 25th pick, I have the Green Bay Packers selecting Cooper DeJean, cornerback out of Iowa. Some strengths here: showcases great initial bursts when triggering on plays and veering to match wide receivers. With discipline, technique, size, and short area mobility, he can play the slot or boundary. Some weaknesses: sometimes loses his balance when sinking to match whip and out routes. Occasional wasted motion and press man can tug him too far off the line in open space. With the 26th pick, I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers selecting Troy Fautanu, offense tackle out of Washington. Some strengths here: an agile mover who puts his length to good use, using his hands aggressively and landing solid initial punches. He can move to the second level as a run blocker with the coordination and balance to hit moving targets. A better than expected athlete who steadily improved in pass protection, stout at the point of attack, and maintains a wide base. Some weaknesses: not physically imposing and has average overall strength. Upper body gets over his feet too often, and Fautanu easily loses his balance. More of a waist bender with subpar feet, and he too often ends up reaching and lunging when going against quickness. With the 27th pick, I have the Arizona Cardinals selecting Jordan Morgan, offense tackle out of Arizona. Some strengths here: explosive, high energy athlete at the snap, moving and recalibrating with ease. Exceptional knee bend for his size, ensuring a stable center of gravity. Some weaknesses: tendency to drift upright in zone run blocks, reducing power effectiveness. Can be uncontrolled in maintaining angles and flipping hips on gap runs. With the 28th pick, the Buffalo Bills will be selecting Troy Franklin, wide receiver out of Oregon. Some strengths here: consistently increased his production throughout his college career, finishing with a record-setting 2023 where he put up a huge 1,383 yards and 14 touchdowns. He boasts elite speed, running the 40-yard dash in a blazing 4.35 seconds, consistently leaving defenders behind as a premier deep threat. Some weaknesses: light frame. Troy Franklin's weight of 185 pounds, particularly for a 6'3 receiver, could leave him susceptible to physical cornerbacks and limit his effectiveness in contested catch situations. Adding muscle may be necessary for success at the next level. All too often, you see him turning and running before pulling in a clean catch. With the 29th pick, the Detroit Lions will be selecting Chop Robinson, edge out of Penn State. Some strengths here: features a volcanic first step and long stride explosiveness that immediately puts offensive linemen at a disadvantage. Leverages his intense power and kinetic energy to execute polished hand techniques against offensive linemen. Some weaknesses: needs to diversify his rush portfolio. Reliance on primary speed and power elements can be neutralized by technically sound tackles with superior reach. Displays a need for augmented functional strength at the point of attack, particularly evident when anchoring against the run and high physicality matchups. With the 30th pick, I have the Baltimore Ravens selecting A.D. Mitchell, wide receiver out of Texas. Some strengths here: explosive long strider, able to stack defenders out of stems with burst and speed. Excellent at chopping feet and hinging outwards on quick slants. Some weaknesses: needs to better utilize agility and twitch as a run after the catch threat. Effort can wane late in reps against physical coverage on deep balls. With the 31st pick, I have the Kansas City Chiefs selecting Xavier Legette, wide receiver out of South Carolina. Some strengths here: Ideal height and possesses a solid build. Built like a linebacker with solid hands, effective in pulling the ball in contested situations. Flexible and agile, maintaining speed while making turns and weaving through defenses. Some weaknesses: tendency to let deep throws get into his pads and chest instead of securing with hands. May struggle to adjust to the higher complexity off NFL defensive schemes initially. And with the last pick of the first round, I have the San Francisco 49ers selecting Tyler Guyton, offensive tackle out of Oklahoma. Some strengths here: is effective when asked to pull, showing the agility, speed, and overall range to get out as a lead blocker, where Guyton locates defenders and shows the ability to adjust and land blocks against linebackers. Guyton is a work in progress with high end physical traits. He's extremely light on his feet for a 300-pounder, a natural knee bender who plays with balance and leverage. Some weaknesses: height can be a determinant in shot yardage. Defender can get under his pads to hold the line. Tends to slip off blocks when going against bigger linemen. And Guyton too often finishes plays on the ground. And that'll do it for my first round mock draft. Comment your thoughts below. Like, share, subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.